Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Jessie. Today I'm gonna talk about something to mitigate the Hong Kong income tax. Actually, the thing is 100% legal and is promoted by the Hong Kong government. It's called the Qualified Deferred Annuity Premium Plan. Probably you have ever heard about this before. So the government of Hong Kong proposed a tax deduction plan for all the taxpayers. It would just like a benefits, for us to aim as encourage us to buy the premier for the deferred annuity products. So the taxpayer are allowed to claim the tax deduction for their qualifying deferred annuity premium up to a maximum of 60,000 Hong Kong dollars per assessment year. So maybe you're wondering about what is a specific arrangement about this plan, such as how much I should pay for every year and how long I have to pay for deferred annuity premium and how much I can get in the future and in what age I could be able to get the annuity cash flow every year, something like that. And the second question is probably would ask, am I qualified for this plan? And what is the qualified deferred annuity premium? And where I can buy this, in which channel? Also probably would wonder, what exactly you can gain from the qualified deferred annuity premium. And third question is this plan really suitable for me, or is this plan is literally suitable for what kind of people? So I'm gonna answer these three questions in my following video one by one. Okay, let's get started. Let's go. So what exactly is annuity? Annuity is the contract between you and insurance company in which you make a lump sum payment or a series of payments such as the installments. In return, you're gonna receive the regular disbursements beginning either immediately or at a point in the future. Actually, annuity has two types of categories: the immediate annuity and deferred annuity. And usually, the tax deductible qualified annuity premium is something lies in the category of deferred annuity. That means that if you pay a lump sum or you pay by the installments, in return you cannot get all those the disbursements immediately, and you can only get all those disbursements in the future at a certain point of time, such as when you are 50 or 55 or 60 years old or so. So different countries has different regulations. And in Hong Kong, the earliest time you can get the annuity cash flow is when you are 50 years old. So that is the specific characteristic of deferred annuity premium. So what is exactly the qualified annuity premium proposed by the Hong Kong government? Well, actually, in terms of these arrangements, you can buy any type of qualified deferred annuity premium in the currency of Hong Kong dollars, the Chinese yuan, or the US dollars. And buy the qualified deferred annuity premium is from 80 years old to 85 years old. But I remember really there are certain types of plan proposed by the insurance company. Expect you to above 30 or 40 years old, something like that. But once you are above 18 years old, you really want to buy the annuity premium, you definitely could be able to find a qualified plan that will be suitable for you. And the minimum payment period is from 5 years to 10 years. That means that for this specific deferred annuity premium plan, you have to pay every year at least for 5 years in a row. Otherwise, you will get a penalty or something like that. Well, as I mentioned earlier, that the annuitization age was started from 50 years old. That means that if you started to pay the premium from the age of 30 and you pay the premium for 5 years in a row, and when you hit 50 years old, you're gonna be able to receive disbursements every year. So 50 years old is the earliest time you can claim the benefits from the deferred annuity premium plan. So the annuitization phase was from the 50 years old to 85 years old. And you can choose the annuity period, which is time you're gonna receive the annuity income. You can choose the minimum one, that is time span of 10 years, or you can choose 20 years, 30 years. You can choose to receive the annuity income for the rest of your life, something like that. So this is a specific arrangement, for the Hong Kong government proposed the qualified deferred annuity premium. Well, let's step into the second question. where we can buy the Qualified Deferred Annuity Premium. All those large banks such as the HSBC, HSB, the Bank of China, Standard Chartered, all those big banks would offer you the Qualified Deferred Annuity Premium. Also, all those insurance companies such as AIA, Manulife, all those companies, all those insurance companies could also offer you such Qualified Deferred Annuity Premium plan as well. And if you really want to buy this, you have to ask them to give you the introduction brochure of the products, and you then have to find the QDAP logo like this in this brochure. If you cannot find a logo like this, that means that it is not the Qualified Deferred Annuity Premium. The step to third question is that what exactly you can benefit from this plan. So definitely the most important thing for us is to mitigate our income tax. So the maximum of tax that we're gonna be able to reduce is around 10,000 Hong Kong dollars per year if you buy the maximum amount of premium, like 60,000 Hong Kong dollars per year during the assessment year. The calculation is quite straightforward. So the highest tax rate bracket in the progressive rate in Hong Kong is 70%. So we use the 70% times the 60,000 Hong Kong dollars. That is 10,200 Hong Kong dollars. That is the maximum amount of money that we're gonna save from our, the payable tax issues or something like that. The thing is that you're gonna ask, what is another benefits of annuity plan? I mean that every year, I have to contribute like 60,000 Hong Kong dollars per year into annuity premium account, and this amount of money will be freeze until I was like 50 years old. So what is the benefits of that? According to various of the qualified deferred annuity premiums provided by various types of insurance company and the different banks, usually the return of investment be like 2% to 3% every single year. Let's say that I invest 60,000 Hong Kong dollars into qualified deferred annuity premium plan. So every year you would have approximately 2% to 3% return. Let's say that the average IR would be like 2.5%, and you start to buy the premium in the age of 30, and the payment period is like 5 years. That means that during the consecutive 5 years, every year you have to pay 60,000 Hong Kong dollars. So this means that during the time span of 5 years, start from 30 years old to 35 years old, you have to invest in 300,000 Hong Kong dollars in total. And when you hit your 50 years old, when we are considering about the time value of money, you could be able to get a future cash flow in a certain period of times, which would equal to a total value of 460,000 Hong Kong dollars in total. But somehow, when you hit your 50 years old, probably you cannot get a lump sum payment of the 460,000 Hong Kong dollars in one time. Maybe month you're gonna receive a cash flow in a time span of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or for the rest of your whole life. And you can choose between all those alternative choices, something like that. But the total time value of this amount of cash flow would equal to 460,000 Hong Kong dollars. While you can get access to all those qualified deferred annuity premiums plans in this website, in the insurance authority website, and also I will attach a link here. The thing is that you're gonna start, to just input several informations that they requested. Like there are 5 questions. After answering the 5 questions, you're gonna present you with the plans that might suitable, for your needs. Let's work through all those together. Let's say that firstly you can just, stay input your age, like probably like 30 years old, and you can choose like which currency you would like to pay for this premium, and you can choose all. And how long would you choose to pay the premium? Let's pick the 5 years, and you can choose the what age do you want to start receiving the annuity. You can see that the earliest times you can choose is 50 years old. Okay, the last question is, would you like to receive annuity income in a fixed period or the whole life? You can see they can choose between the 10 years to like 50 years and even more than 50 years old the whole life. So usually I would choose 10 to 20 years. So you start to analyze. and then you're gonna give you all kinds of preferable qualified deferred annuity premiums that will be suitable for your needs. And there are so many programs such as something from the AIA, from the HSBC, from the Prudential Hong Kong Limited, and all those plans have their different investment return rates. You can see that ranges from probably earning from 2% to even 4% annually. And you can also find the product's web page. For example, let's choose the WellLink Life Insurance Company links the presented product's website. Well, here is a plan, and they give us an example. So the Mr. Zhao, he's 45 years old, and he started to buy this qualified deferred annuity plan when he was 45 years old, and he started to pay it for like 5 years in a row. And when he's 50 years old, and every year he paid like a 10,000 US dollars per year. That is approximately translating to Hong Kong dollars would be like 8,000 Hong Kong dollars per year. After paying this for 5 years, when he hit 50 years old, he's gonna receive the annuity income every single year. And the calculation is every month he's gonna receive the annuity income like 300 US dollars. And I also give it some calculation test and test what is their investment return. Maybe I will pass all those complicated calculation. The result is that investment return will be like 3% annually. And it's just like what they mentioned in their products brochure. Its total internal rate of return will be like 3.07% every year. So this is actually what you can gain from deferred annuity premium plan. So you can get a tax deduction like a 10,000 Hong Kong dollars in maximum every single year if you pay above the 60,000 Hong Kong dollars per year. And also you can get 3% in a rate of return every single year as well. And you can start to receive these benefits when you are 50 years old. So the last and most important question is that who is suitable for this plan? Well, to be honest, probably if you ask me whether I want to buy this annuity premium plan right now, I would say no, thank you. I would pass it right now. But thank you, I will reconsider about it in the appropriate time. So what exactly is the appropriate time? Well, firstly, sometimes when I'm earning, 30 years old, I have such a long time, like 20 years. I'm not sure whether if I put all money into deferred annuity premium plan, well, I really need to use this amount of money. I cannot withdraw it until I was 50 years old. This is definitely not that flexible, right? If I want to buy an apartment in the future, if I want to raise kids, how come I could use this amount of money? I can't. I cannot use it until I'm 50 years old. So I think the best age for people to buy is definitely above 40 years old. But you think that, oh, no worries, I'm a high income earner, I earn like a 1 million, 2 million every single year. I think, okay, that's not a big deal. So you have sufficient disposable income. You can put a small amount of money into this qualified deferred annuity premium every single year, and you can save 10,000 Hong Kong dollars per year. That is a really good choice. Otherwise, if you only have a limited disposable income every year, and you have some really important life plan maybe, and you are pretty young, you should really sleep on it. That is the first thing I want to talk about. Second thing is that even if you hit your 40 years old and you want to mitigate your tax, you should really think about whether I can get the maximum tax deduction benefit from this plan. It is something determined by your income level. In Hong Kong, usually for taxpayers, we definitely prefer to choose the progressive tax rate. When your taxable income hit the 230 Hong Kong dollars, you are subject to the highest progressive tax rate bracket 17%. So this means that if your taxable income, after deducting all those things like your personal allowance, like something to do with your MPF deduction or the taxable deduction, after deducting all of those so as to reach the taxable income, if your taxable income is above the 200,000 Hong Kong dollars, definitely you could buy this qualified deferred annuity plan. You're gonna be able, to gain the maximum taxable deduction benefit from this plan. Otherwise, you should reconsider about this plan. So let's create a scenario like if you are 40 years old, you have kids, and your kids is underaged, and you have to pay the mortgage, something like that. And when considering all of those considerations, advice is that if your annual income is at least above 600,000 Hong Kong dollars per year, you can consider about buying this qualified deferred annuity premium. Otherwise, probably it is not the best choice. You can only gain the maximum benefits of tax deduction from this plan. Okay, the third factors I have to consider about is something to do with the economy issues. I mean that, in Hong Kong, during the past 10 years, from the 2010 to the 2020, it was a relatively low interest rate in the economic environment. Let's just check the chart of the HIBOR here. You can see that during the year of 2010 all the way to the year of 2020, in Hong Kong, the HIBOR 3 months would be like 0.38%. This is outrageously low. This means that the fixed deposit rate in the banks will be like below the 1% every single year. In this kind of a low interest rate economic environment, it is definitely quite suitable for all the taxpayers to consider buying annuity. Because when you buy annuity products, at least you can get something like 2% to 3% rate of return every year, right? But if you just save your money into banks, it will be like no more than 1%. That was outrageously low. But right now, it was relatively a high interest rate environment. Federal Reserve United States, try to raise their interest rate every single year. So right now, if you put all your money into the fixed deposit account in the banks, probably can get the free risk rate of return like 4%, something like that. It is way higher than the rate of return when you put your money into the qualified deferred annuity premium, right? That's the difference. You know what I mean, right? Well, this is my sharing. I would have a takeaway here, for your reference, and to give you a checklist about whether it is suitable for you, to buy the qualified deferred annuity plan or not. Okay, this is my sharing today. Thank you for watching it. So if you like my video, please thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, you are really welcome to leave a message. If you want to get to know about tax issues or investment or something like that, please subscribe me and ring the bell. You will never miss my updates. Thank you. Bye.